Hello, can you hear me, La?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you
Okay.
clearly.
How many people on Facebook now?
15 now.
15 now. We have 5 participants. Who are the other 2? How many people on Facebook now?
15 now.
เกิดบ้านฉางพยายามเปิดวิดีโอ no video. Security.
15 now.
How are you, Varaman? Happy? Okay.
I'm fine, ท่านอาจารย์ thank you. And you? How are you today?
Okay. Still breathing? So, you don't have anybody from overseas yet?
It's now 24, 26.
Now, you have any question from Facebook yet? No question yet.
No question at this time.
Is it also live on YouTube today?
No
No live on YouTube.
live on YouTube.
No one to do it for you. So far, nobody yet.
Yes, there is one question, La, can you read that question? Cornell.
Question from Cornell. Dear Ajahn from Indonesia, may I ask question? How do you suggest a bhikkhu to do dana, like food dana, for example?
People usually don't have to do dana. They're supposed to practice samadhi, panya, and sila. This is the main task of a bhikkhu, is to keep the 227 monastic rules and practice samadhi and develop panya. Because a bhikkhu does not possess any money, so he cannot afford to do dana. So dana is not for him. Dana is for the lay people who still uses money. So I hope this answer your question. Okay. So today nobody comes in yet. Or the regular supporting team. Maybe they get tired.
มาแล้วค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีนิมนต์ครับ
ครับผมครับ
อันนี้โปรแกรมของผมไม่รู้มันหายไปไหนโอเค Alvin, how are you today?
Good, thanks. Yes, quite well. Really looking forward to your question answer session.
Yes. Do you have any question today yourself?
Oh, starting already? Okay. 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 Let's see. Okay. I just had my 4th year father's memorial ceremony. 4th year. On the 5th of September. And so every time that I went for a ceremony, I feel guilty. In the sense that I'm the only boy of the house. I have one sister, older sister, and younger sister, and I never got married. Remained single, and my father was unhappy with me until he died because I never coupled, and so that remained with him till he died, and it made me rather unhappy and guilty that I was because he wanted a grandchild, right? And so it made me a bit guilty, unable to do for the family. Okay, thank you. So the question is, how do I reconcile between my need of approval, of my father's approval, and my own need of freedom? This is in the chitta. Okay, thank you.
You cannot please everybody, so you have to please yourself first. Do what you think is best for you, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. So, we all have our own life to live. We should not demand on other people how to live their life. So I don't think it's right for anybody to demand of you how you should live your life, because it's your life. So you're the one who has to decide what kind of life you want to live.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who's going to have to pay the consequence of your decision.
Yes.
So I don't think you should feel bad if
Yes.
you're not pleasing everybody or somebody.
Yes. Correct. Because there's this in my chitta, there is this conflict between the family-wise and my own freedom, and there's this internal conflict that I cannot reconcile, not from an outer physical level, but from an inner unconscious, subconscious level.
Well, because you don't know how to deal with your relationship with your family. You're confused. So
yes,
you have to know your relationship to your family. The only thing you have is obligation to help them when they're in need. But if they are well and they don't need your help, then you don't have to worry about it. You should live your own life. Or if you had a lot of money, you can share some of your money with them. This is what you can do. But other than that, I don't think you need to do anything for them. We all have our own life to live, right? But it doesn't mean we don't care for them. Should the time arise when they need your care, your help, then you should give them that care, that help. But if they are doing well, they're happy on their own, then there's no need for you to do anything for them. Unless it's your own decision. If you like to do something for them, it's up to you. But if you feel that you have something that you have to do for yourself and you don't have the time to do things for them, then it's okay. All right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Let me say hello to Sri and Czech from Vancouver. Hi, can you unmute your microphone? How are you?
Good evening, Ajahn.
How
Good
did you for today?
Yeah, you change your days, Ajahn.
Well,
Keep
I don't
guessing.
change. I never fix my days. That's the problem. I am like a weather. You cannot predict me. Life is like that. We try to force life to be under our prediction, under our control. That's why all the problems start. See? If we just let life flow naturally, like the weather, then there shouldn't be any problem.
That's the best teaching, I think.
Anatta, sabbe dhamma anatta. Everything is anatta. How can you force them to be atta, being myself, being part of me, or being under my control? This is becoming unnatural. To be natural is to let things flow. You got any question today?
Are you okay, Ajahn?
Okay, I'm fine. I have some mucus stuck in my throat, but no fever, nothing.
Thank you for the reminder. It's really good reminder.
We always forget. As
Right.
soon as we stop talking about this, then we come back to the old habit of controlling, managing, getting things the way you want them to be. Not looking at them and see how should I adjust to them. You want them to adjust to you. See? And when you cannot adjust them to you, you feel bad.
Right.
So it's better to learn to adjust to them because it's easier.
It's very helpful.
But your mind is stubborn. Your mind always wants to do what it used to do. It wants to manage, it wants to change other things, other people, but not themselves, not itself.
Right. That's all right.
When you see somebody doing something you don't like, instead of accommodating yourself to that action, you want to change that person's action to fit your liking. Then you can cause problems because they might not want to do what you ask them to do.
So we let them be.
Let it be. They are natural phenomena. They're like the weather. we adjust. We adapt to the weather, right? We don't make the weather adjust to us.
Ajahn, do you want to drink some water?
Huh?
You need some water?
See, you worry about me now rather than worrying about yourself. How come?
No, you're a student. I'm still a student, Ajahn. I haven't learned yet.
Yeah.
I'll try.
You should leave things alone. Leave people alone.
Okay.
Maybe because you're a doctor, so you want to treat the patient.
Yeah, I'm so used to it. I think Warawan probably feels the same, right, Warawan? My friend,
But you don't know actually what my condition is.
right.
The symptom doesn't mean it means something that you think it is. It might be something else.
Right.
Okay, any question today, or should I go to Ken first?
Oh, please go to Ken, Ajahn. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Hi, Ken. Can you unmute your microphone? Okay, you can speak now.
Hello, Ajahn. Nice to
Can't hear you though. What happened to your sound?
Can you not hear me?
Very soft. Can you speak louder?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay. I'll try and hold this close to my mouth. Ajahn, I have a question. In one of the chants, the Itipiso, it refers to the 4 pairs or the 8 types of noble beings. So I think the four refers to the 4 stages of enlightenment.
Yes.
But the pairs, could you maybe explain what is referred to by the 4 pairs?
Well, see, for each stage of enlightenment, you have two stages. First, the path, and then the fruit. See? Like before you can become a Sotapanna, you have to walk the path of a Sotapanna first. When you walk the path of the Sotapanna, you are considered one person already. And when you reach the fruit, then you become another person. So they comes in pair, the 4 stages of enlightenment. You first have to develop the path, which is samadhi and wisdom and sila. Sila and samadhi is the same for all 4 stages. Sila, you have to keep the 8, the 10, or the 227 precepts if you're a monk. Samadhi, you have to have at least the 4th jhana. But the difference will be the wisdom path, because you use different type of wisdom to get rid of the fetters that prevent you from becoming enlightened. So when you work on the 3 fetters on the first stage of your path toward a Sotapanna, you have to get rid of the Sakkaya Ditthi. You have to get rid of the doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And you have to get rid of the Silappattalama Masa. These are the 3 fetters in which you have to develop the wisdom. When you're developing the wisdom to get rid of these 3 fetters, you are working the path. You're walking the path of a Sotapanna. So you become one of the 8 person, the first of the 8 person.
Okay.
And when you have got rid of the 3 fetters by wisdom, by seeing them as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, you see the 5 khandhas as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then you can get rid of the suffering that you have with the 5 khandhas. Then you see the 4 noble truths. When you see the 4 noble truths, then you see the Dhamma. And by seeing the Dhamma, you see the Buddha, because the Dhamma came from the Buddha. So you have no doubt of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, whether they are real or not. Once you see the 4 noble truths arising in your mind regarding your attachment toward the 5 khandhas. And when you use wisdom to teach your mind to let go, to see that the 5 khandha isn't a self, it is anatta, then the suffering in your mind will disappear. So you see the working of the 4 noble truths in your mind when you try to get rid of your attachment to the 5 khandhas. Once you have got rid of your attachment, you have got rid of the fetter of the fetters of seeing the 5 khandha as a self. And in the same time, you see the 4 noble truths working in your mind. You see the suffering arises from your desire to control the 5 khandhas. Like you want to make the body not getting old, getting sick, or die. And when you could not do this, you get dukkha from trying to control your khandha, the 5 khandha. And when you see that you cannot control the 5 khandha because they are natural phenomena, like the weather. So you give up controlling, giving up your desire to control your body first, and then you let the body get old, get sick, and die. When you can do this, then the dukkha in your mind will disappear. Nirodha will appear. The third truth, the third noble truth will appear. Nirodha, which is the cessation of dukkha, of that level. It's not all the dukkha, but the dukkha on that level. The dukkha that arises from your attachment to the five khandha. So you see the truth, the Four Noble Truths. So you see the Dhamma. See. By seeing the Dhamma that the Buddha taught, the Buddha was the one who taught the Four Noble Truths. So you know that there must be a Buddha who taught this truth. So there will be no doubt anymore in your mind whether the Buddha is real or not, and that his Dhamma teaching is real or not. And the Sangha, the person who can see the Dhamma, is also real. So you see the triple gem at the same time. So you have you don't have any doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, or Sangha from that point onward. Okay. Then you see also the working of the karma, the law of karma. You see, if you think in the way of the defilement, you're creating suffering or dukkha. So in order, when you feel bad, you don't go and do any rituals to get rid of your bad feeling. You stop your desire, stop your defilement. So then you don't need to have this sila. Well, I can't remember the I don't know what's the translation of this third fetter. Anybody know? Somebody said the attachment to rites and rituals.
Yeah, I think it's like keeping the precepts and then not keeping them and then keeping them
Yeah,
again.
somebody translated not sure whether the precept is really working or not for your benefit. But with the Sotapanna, he sees that the precept is very important. He would never commit any sin, any breaking any precept, even if he has to die keeping the precept, because he knows the consequence of breaking the precept will send you to the lower realm of existence. Okay, so you attain to the fruit, then you become a Sotapanna. So this is the first prayer. See? Then from the Sotapanna, you have to walk the path of a Sakidakami. The path of a Sakidakami is to get rid of sexual desire. In order to get rid of sexual desire, you need to contemplate on Sukha, the repulsive aspect of the body. Because your sexual desire arises from seeing the attractive parts of the body. So if you want to get rid of the sexual desire, you have to look at the repulsive parts of the body, like looking on the skeleton. When you see a skeleton, your sexual desire will disappear. But since the skeleton is covered, hidden by the skin and the flesh, you could not see it with your physical eyes. So you need to use your inner eyes, your wisdom eye, by constantly thinking of the skeleton, for instance. First you go look at the skeleton, and then you try to keep it in your mind all the time. So when you see a beautiful body and you get sexual desire, and you look at the skeleton of that body, which you cannot see with your physical eyes, but you could see with your wisdom eyes. So when you see the skeleton of that beautiful body, then your sexual desire will disappear. So you reap the fruit. But Sakidakami, the fruit of a Sakidakami is his ability to lessen his sexual desire, but not completely get rid of the sexual desire. He reaches the 50% point, in which sometimes he sees the skeleton and sometimes he doesn't see the skeleton. And then you have to continue on with your contemplation of the skeleton until you can see it all the time. Every time you see a human body, you see the skeleton also. Then you become the third stage of enlightenment, an anagami. Then you move to the fourth stage of enlightenment by walking the path. by developing the wisdom to get rid of the other 5 fetters. I don't want to go into any detail, but I think you get the picture. Okay.
Just one question: if someone is on the path towards Sotapan, does that mean they are keeping, or they have to keep, the 8 precepts?
It means they already have jhana. You
Okay.
already have equanimity. Your mind is calm enough to contemplate on the true nature of the 5 khandhas.
Okay.
If you don't have jhana, your mind will still be hijacked by your defilement. You won't have enough. You won't be able to continually contemplate or study the nature of the 5 khandhas, because your mind will still be hijacked by your defilement to go after the 5 sensual objects instead.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ajahn. Thank you.
So once you start to enter the path, it means you already have precepts and jhana and samadhi. What you are lacking is the wisdom path.
Yeah.
The wisdom, the ability to see the three characteristics of the 5 khandhas. So you have to use a lot of time to contemplate, study the nature of the 5 khandhas as being anicca, as being anatta. And it's causing you dukkha because you don't see it as anicca and anatta. You see them as being nityam and atta. So you have to see the opposite. We tend to look at our body as being permanent, right? Long-lasting, not changing. Even though we know it's changing, but every time we look at the mirror, we look at the same person, right? Every day. But if you look at the picture of yourself 5 years ago and you say, "Oh, I have changed a lot." See, so you have some to study the nature of the body and to know that it's constantly changing every second. But the change is so minute you cannot see the difference yet. But you know it's changing. It's all the time. And you cannot stop it. So you cannot stop aging. And you cannot stop sickness. And you cannot stop death when it comes. But if you resist, you have desire, you have vibhava tanha. The desire not to get old, get sick or die, you get dukkha. All right?
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. Well, next person in line, I think it's Philip Lim. Hi, Philip. Can you unmute your microphone? Okay. I thought I saw you on the video the other day. Did you see yourself in the video wearing the green shirt, right?
I think yes, Ajahn. Yes, I think it was. I think last year. I think I came.
3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Yeah.
February.
Yes, I came over visit. Yes.
That's an old video. I put it live again.
Correct. When
I saw your face briefly, and I think it must be you, because most of the time I see just your back.
Yeah. A lot of people asking, how did I get to Thailand? So I'm like, okay.
Okay. It's an old video, and I put it live again. So
correct.
They have the software that you can make old video to become live again.
Yeah. I got a lot of texts, and I said, how can you get to Thailand? How do you get there?
Okay. You got any question today?
Yes. Continuing with the previous gentleman's question, where you look at the nature of the five khandhas, where there's impermanence, there is suffering, and there's non-self. At what point of the meditation do you withdraw and start to contemplate that?
When you're not in jhana, when you come out of jhana, when your mind is not in absorption. When your mind is in absorption, you cannot think. See? So you don't want to disturb the absorption. Like once you come out of meditation, you can continue on sitting, or standing, or walking, and then you can study the nature. If you continue sitting, you'll start to see the painful feeling start to arise. Then you can then use the wisdom that you've been taught, that feeling is also anatta. Feeling is something you cannot force it to go away. So you just have to leave it alone and not consider it something under your control.
So can you?
If you can let go of feeling, then you have got rid of part of the five khandha. You have got rid of the feeling. You are no longer disturbed by the feeling, by the painful feeling of the body. But you still have the death of the body to deal with. Then you might have to take the body to a place where it might risk of being hurt or die, and see if you can then teach your mind to let go of the body. That's why monks like to go practice in the deep forest, where there are wild animals and danger. When you are in a risky situation, your mind will be disturbed. Your mind will be agitated because you still cling to life. So if you use the contemplation that life is impermanent, the body is impermanent, that sooner or later it's going to have to die. And if you can convince your mind to let go and accept that, then your mind will become calm and not being disturbed by whatever happens to the body. If you're in a safe place like your home, you're not exposed to danger, so you don't know how you would react when danger comes upon your body. So you don't know whether you have the wisdom to let go of your body or not.
Ajahn, the part of the meditation when you come out from calmness, or you come out from jhana and you start to contemplate, right? Would it also be after contemplating there's also moments that you actually go back into calmness, that nothing happens?
Well, see, when you do contemplation, after a while you might get tired, so you want to rest your mind. So you go back to your samadhi to rest your mind. This is the process of doing the homework first. When you study, when you contemplate the five khandha as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, you are studying, you are teaching your mind. This is what the five khandha is. But you haven't yet taken a test whether you have really know it in yourself or not. To know it, you have to take the test by exposing the body to painful feelings and the body to a situation, a life and death situation. Then to see if the wisdom that you have been contemplating, you have been developing, is enough to teach your mind to let go of the attachment to the five khandha, to the body and feelings. So you teach your mind to prepare for the test first thing. And you're gonna have to take this test. You have to face the painful feeling. You're gonna have to face that because this is the truth, right? This is the nature of the body and the khandha, the feeling. You don't only have just good and neutral feeling. You also have painful feeling. But painful feeling, we try to get rid of it as soon as it happens. So we seldomly see it or face it because we try to get rid of it as soon as we can.
Ajahn, I think I asked you before when I visited you the last time, with regards to like, for example, like these painful feelings and where you're faced in a situation of fear and things like that, right? The slower feelings are the ones which are, I mean, quite easy to observe, quite easy to let go. Is the ones that shoots up very fast. For example, if let's say a tiger starts jumping in front of you, I mean, you tend to have like a startle feeling, and then after that, your mind realizes, okay, this is, not my body, this is impermanent or whatever, or a loud sound that you think that it might be a gun or a thunder or something like that. Those are the ones that startle. Is it natural? Is it something that we need to develop on?
Sometimes this reaction is automatic. You cannot stop it from reacting, but only just briefly, just at the moment, and then right afterward you can then control your mind to remain calm. If you have trained your mind to be calm, then as soon as become agitated by the sudden something that you happen to run into, it might just react. But then as soon as it reacted, you can stop it right away. If you haven't trained your mind, you might still become agitated and afraid for many more minutes later on.
Okay. Understand.
Okay. So this is what your training is training for you to. You train your mind to remain calm and remain non-reactive by using equanimity and the teaching, the wisdom of the Buddha, that you cannot control the five khandha. When things happen, the best way to deal with the five khandha is just to remain non-reactive. And let whatever happens to the five khandha, let it happen. All you have to do is just to merely know, merely acknowledge. Then there will be no dukkha. But our defilement will keep us will push us to react. As soon as anything happens to the five khandha, it will push us to react, to resist death, resist pain. So this is what you want to retrain your mind, not to resist death, not to resist the painful feeling, but rather embracing them instead.
But Ajahn, I want to ask also that there are moments or there are long periods of time during a sitting meditation where the sounds, thoughts, feelings, what don't arise. They just pass. And they don't register.
See, if you enter into jhana, then you're totally separated from the five khandha temporarily. So you will not experience any painful feeling, even if the body has any painful feeling.
Yes, and the sound doesn't have any meaning. It's just.
Yeah, if your mind is calm and has equanimity, then it doesn't react to the sound, to anything that you experience. You just merely know.
Okay. And should you hold that? I mean, should you continue in that stage for as long as you can?
Well, the goal is to develop this equanimity. So you want to use it when you take the test. When you take the test, you have to come out of jhana. You cannot do it in jhana. You have to be in real time, like right now. If somebody come into the house and point a gun at you right now, see how would you react? See, if you have equanimity and you just look at the gun, okay. And if you have wisdom, you say, well, maybe this is a time for the body to die. And there's nothing I can prevent it from it dying. So let it be. So you just sit there and watch the gun. See whether it's gonna blow up a bullet at you or not. See, if you've been trained with wisdom and equanimity, this is how you would react to the situation. You just remain calm and just acknowledging the situation. That's what the Buddha said. When you see something, just see, merely see. When you hear something, just merely see, hear. No reaction. Even though what you see is so dangerous, it might causing death to your body, you just merely see. You don't react.
So it's just like the water coming down from a lotus leaf, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
they don't merge. They are separated. The mind is just merely know. It doesn't take anything into itself to cause it any pain, any dukkha. But that would be a struggle, because if you still have defilement, the defilement would want you to react, to either run away or to fight or whatever. But if you have wisdom, you say, this is not for me. Wisdom teaches me that to give up the body, because to fight or to run away would cause dukkha anyway. And you don't want dukkha. You want to get rid of dukkha. And the only way to get rid of dukkha is to let the body be, let the body go. Once you let the body go for once, you will let it go forever. You will no longer have any fear of death. By this method, by the method of wisdom. If you use the other method, if you use Bhutto and bring your mind inside, you will still be afraid of death in the next time. Because you didn't use wisdom to teach the mind to let go of your attachment to the body. Okay? Okay, then we'll go to the next person. Who's next?
Geraldine.
Geraldine, you're next.
Right.
Ajahn, I have no question today. Just listening today.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good.
Ajahn.
We'll go to Soling then. Soling, how are you? Any question?
Not today. Thank you, Ajahn. Just listening. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll go to Cindy and Monica. How are you?
Good evening, Rampo. Yeah, we are fine, thank you.
Any question?
I have a question. When I wake up, I start to feel strong emotions. Should I contemplate, or should I observe the breath, or maybe just chant the Buddha?
When you meditate and you
No,
emotion.
when I wake up, I already start to feel like strong emotions.
Okay, you can use a mantra or chanting to you see, when you have emotion, it means you don't have mindfulness. Your defilement is working. So you have to bring up mindfulness by either reciting a mantra or do some chanting. Then you can then stop the emotion from continuing on. Or if you want, you can sit and meditate right away. If you just get up, sit and watch your breath. And after a while, then your emotion will disappear. But after you meditate, if you don't, it might come back again. So you might have to keep, every time it comes back, then you have to use the mantra or chanting. Whichever method is effective for you, you use that method to calm down the mind.
So that means I don't contemplate until I feel that I'm very, I have a very calm mind. Is it?
You can contemplate if you can find out the cause of your emotions. Why am I feeling like this? This is, you use investigation, not contemplation. You have to investigate the cause of your emotion. How am I feeling like this right now? Is it something I want that I'm not getting? It's usually caused by your defilement, your desire. one form of desire or the other. Maybe you get up, you want it to be bright and sunny, and it's cloudy and it's hot out. Then you might have these emotions. Then you have to teach your mind to stop this desire for whatever you want. If you can stop the desire or the craving in your mind, then your emotion can disappear.
Okay.
Because your emotion is dukkha. We use the word emotion, but in Buddhist term, it means dukkha.
Yes, I feel that when I sense the emotions, because it came so strong, suddenly I can feel like the whole mind is ruffled. There's a lot of irritations.
So you want to find out what's causing it. And usually, according to the Buddha, it's one of your craving or desire. You must be desiring for something. And if you can identify the cause, then you can then get rid of that cause.
So in this case, I think that means I should sit down and maybe start to contemplate.
Well, you have to find out, see, not contemplate, but investigate.
Oh.
Ask yourself, what is causing this emotion to arise? Is it your body? Is it your body being sick? Sometimes you get up and you realize that you have a headache, for instance. And then you have this emotion arise from the headache. Then you have to investigate the nature of the body and say, can you control the headache or not? Can you tell it to go away? If you cannot tell it to go away, then you have to stop your desire for for the headache to be away. You just have to accept the headache. Once you can accept the headache, then the emotion will disappear.
So this investigation is not contemplation, right?
It's similar, but English word has different meanings. But with the Thai or the Pali word, we just use picharana. It means everything. It means contemplation, means investigation, means studying, means finding out the truth. It's all picharana. Vicharana.
Yeah, because I think that I used to have a lot of emotions even throughout the whole day. So sometimes it doesn't come because of holding the Buddha, but sometimes it just came in very fast.
If you don't know how to study or investigate, then you just use mindfulness as a means of stopping your emotion. But this is a temporary measure. But with wisdom, if you can, then you can get rid of this type of emotion permanently.
So in that case, what are the ways that I can pick up to do the contemplation? Because I find that I have a lot of emotions.
Or you can study the emotion itself. Emotion is also anicca, anatta. Your emotion is like the weather. Sometimes you have good emotion and sometimes you have bad emotion. But you cannot always want the good emotion. So you just have to accept the emotion as they come and go. And don't try to get rid of it. Try to live with it.
All right.
Right? Emotion is like feeling. Okay, feelings are emotion. Feeling more like physically. Emotion is more mentally. Right? So emotion, you got someday you got good emotion, someday you got bad emotion. Sometimes you just have neutral emotion. So they're just changing and they're not under your control. So you have to look at emotions like you look at the weather. You always come back to the weather. Everything is like the weather. See? So if you can accept the emotion like you accept the weather, then you will not be, you would have no dukkha. See? You will not feel bad, even if you have bad emotion. You just teach your mind to live with it. Like when you have bad weather, you teach your mind to accept the bad weather. So when you have bad emotion, you teach your mind to accept the bad emotion. Okay, today I'm going to have a lot of bad emotion. Okay, it's like having a bad weather. So if you start trying to get rid of it, then you're not creating more dukkha.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I just treat it like a weather. Yeah.
Look at everything as like the weather.
Okay. All right.
Then instead of trying to change the weather, you change yourself. Change yourself to accept the weather. Not trying to change the weather to make it acceptable to you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Lampo.
Okay. Adiga, Ladva, you next. How are you? And you? Okay.
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, I don't feel like doing anything. I go through phases where I don't want to do anything.
Good. That's what we practice ourselves to do, is not to do anything. So when you don't feel like doing anything, it's good. But you feel bad because you felt guilty, because you felt that you have to do something. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
not to do anything is the best thing for you. You don't get tired. You don't, you relax. Yeah. But you cannot relax because your defilement doesn't want you to not to do anything. When you feel not like doing anything, your defilement says you should do something.
Yeah.
So you have to stop. You should deal with this feeling based on rationality rather than on your emotion. If you have nothing to do, why do it? Why do anything if you have nothing to do? But if you have something to do and you don't feel like doing it, then you feel guilty. Then you have to do it. Then you have to force yourself to do it.
Yeah. I think I need to work.
But if anytime you feel like not doing anything, then just sit down and watch your breath, meditate.
Yeah, okay.
If you feel like you don't want to do anything right now, okay, rest your mind, rest your body at the same time by focusing on your breath and just keep watching your breath. And your mind can be, and you should not think while you're watching your breath. The purpose is to stop you from thinking. Because when you stop thinking, your mind can become still, peaceful, and calm and happy.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you.
anytime you feel like you don't feel like doing anything, then you just meditate.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I feel like, oh, maybe I need to clean the house, or maybe I need to work. I think that.
Yeah, it's your defilement. You feel that it has to do something.
Yeah.
But according to Dhamma, it's best not to do anything when you don't have to do anything. When you don't have to do them, it's best. It's just to be still, to be calm, peaceful, and happy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Try to see how it works. When you don't feel like doing anything, just watch your breath.
Okay.
Close your eyes and watch your breath. Focus on your breath.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions?
No, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go to the next person. I think it's Alvin, but he's using Megan as the name today.
Hi, Ajahn.
How are you?
I'm fine, Ajahn. Yeah, sorry, I think my daughter used my Zoom, so she changed the name. Yeah. Yeah. How are you, Ajahn? You good?
Okay.
Okay. Ajahn, did you, one that's nothing to do with Dhamma, it's just did you receive the lotus seed from Bante Covido?
Yes, I heard. I didn't actually see it, but my assistant, my Tan Yiwei, is a Singaporean mom. He told me that Tan corridors and the lotus seed.
Right. Okay. Just want to confirm that.
Are you near where he lives?
I haven't met him, but he lives quite close to Kuala Lumpur, around about maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour drive from here.
I heard he's building a monastery.
Yes, he's building Susima. It's called Susima Monastery. Is on top of in a hill. So he's going to have, I think, 4 kutis there. And 4 clay there from the meditation hut. Clay, for meditation. So it's this is under construction now.
And how did you know about this lotus seed?
Oh, because one of Bhante Kovido's disciple, the follower, actually tried to send the lotus seed from Malaysia to Thailand and couldn't do it. So they asked me whether I know anyone in Thailand. A friend of mine from Bangkok actually helped to send.
Okay. I thought you might be following him.
I would like to meet up with him one of these days. Yeah. I understand that he 4 years he learned.
2 years staying with us for about 2 years.
I see.
2 or 3 years, I'm not sure.
I think he mentioned 3 to 4 years or something.
3 to 4 years.
Yeah. Okay,
Any
that's
question?
good.
Any Dhamma question?
Yeah. I was listening to one of the talk where one of the Luangpo was saying that looking for defilements, and when he asked his teacher, he said defilements. He tried to look for defilements out there. No, you should not be looking for defilements out there. So he went inside there, deep inside, and the Luangpo said, no, don't go too deep inside. You don't go too deep inside to look for the defilements. And he said, so where do I look for it? And he said, it's the middle path. So what do they mean by that? Looking for defilements inside yourself, but don't go too deep in yourself.
When he means too deep, he means doesn't go into jhana. If you go into jhana, then the defilement is not working. It stopped working. The jhana, the defilement has to work with the thoughts. You have to think. So you want to look at defilement, look at your thought. What are you thinking now? When you think of a new house, you already might have defilement coming. It depends on the reason of getting a new house. If you're getting a new house because you want it bigger, better, more comfortable, then this is craving or desire already. But if your old house is falling apart and you need to get a new house to replace it, then this is not defilement. It's a necessity. When you want to buy a new pair of shoes, when you still have good pair of shoes to use, then this is defilement. You only buy things to replace something that is already no longer usable. Then this is not considered to be defilement. Or when you want to go out and watch a movie, this is defilement already.
Okay.
Sensual pleasure. So the place to look is look at your thought, because the thought is where your defilement use the thought as the mean for it to manifest itself.
Okay.
So you have to study your thought, because your thought can be either defilement driven or Dhamma driven also. Like if you want to meditate, this is Dhamma driven thoughts. Or you want to make charity, keep the precept, this is considered to be Dhamma driven thoughts, not defilement. Because defilement doesn't like to do charity. Defilement doesn't like to keep the precept. Defilement doesn't like to meditate. So this is why you should look at your thoughts, which way it is going. It is going the way of defilement, or it is going the way of Dhamma.
Okay. That's what you said. You mentioned before is tanha and what chanda.
Yeah.
Is it? Yes.
Yeah, the chanda is Dhamma driven. See. The chanda usually refers to the desire to do good things like Dhamma practice. But it also means bad thing also. If you have kama chanda is the desire for sensual pleasure, kama chanda.
Okay.
Then you have this the desire to see, to hear things. Then this becomes defilement also. So you have to look at the object of your desire. If the object of your desire is to get rid of your defilement, then this is Dhamma. Like the precept, dana, samadhi, or listening to Dhamma talk, for instance. This is considered to be tools to get rid of the defilements. So it's Dhamma. But if you want to go on a holiday, you want to buy a new pair of shoes, new phone, even if your old phone is still working okay, then this is defilement. Okay? We'll go to the next person, okay? Hi, Kek Yen So.
Hi, Ajahn.
How are you today?
Thank you. Yeah. So, Ajahn, just want to understand the definition of spiritual being, right? Am I right to say, yes, am I right to say that is considered as spiritual being counted from the time we pass away to the next reborn?
That's right. When you don't have a body, then your mind becomes a spiritual being. It's still the same thing, but we change the name, that's all. The mind is always the spiritual being. But when it's connected to the body, we change the mind, the name of the spiritual being to become the mind.
Okay.
But the mind is always a spiritual being. It's connected to the body by the stream of consciousness that the mind send out from the mind to connect with the sensual organs, such as the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll go. Any more questions from you? No more. Okay. Go to Belinda. Belinda, how are you?
John, I'm fine, thank you.
Any question?
Yes, I have one question. The mind is very interested to listen to the Dhamma, also to participate meditation. But of recently, is the mind always gets sleepy and very difficult to focus. Even though there is an interest, the defilement is very strong. I wonder what's the cause, and are there any remedies to counter?
Well, cause of drowsiness or sleepiness, one is eating too much. We tend to, normally we eat a lot of food. So when we eat the food, then we feel sleepy. So if you want to meditate or practice Dhamma, we recommend that you have to reduce your food consumption down to maybe half of what you normally eat. Like eating only 1 meal or 2 meals a day, for instance. This will reduce the sleepiness problem. Another problem is because of your lack of mindfulness. When you don't have mindfulness, strong mindfulness, when you meditate, when your mind starts to become calm, then you become sleepy at the same time. You can go to sleep. So if you meditate and you feel sleepy, then you should do walking meditation first. Instead of sitting meditation, you should get up and walk. And then use your step as your object of meditation. Watch your step. Left, right, left, right. Or you can use a mantra as you walk. walk for as long as possible until you feel awake or feel tired, and then you want to come back and sit and meditate again. And there's also another method to get rid of your sleepiness, but this is a little bit difficult. You have to find a scary place to meditate, like a cemetery or something like that. If you meditate in a cemetery, you tend to be a lot alert. You won't be sleepy. For monks, sometimes they have to go into the wild forest, where there are dangers from wild animals. Then they tend to be alert. The mind don't go to sleep easily that way. Okay? So try to eat a little bit less. Normally for meditator, he or she should keep the 8 precepts. To not eat food after midday. But this is usually happen when you go into a retreat. But if you're in your working life, you cannot do this because you work and you have to use a lot of energy. So you have to eat normally. But then it becomes a problem when you meditate. So if you meditate after you come back from work, after you have your meal, your evening meal, and before you go to bed, for instance, you'll find sleepy. So to meditate in the normal condition is difficult. That's why you need to go into a retreat in which you have to work. Then you have a lot of time to develop mindfulness also, and you don't have to eat a lot either. So then this will help in your meditation. So if you want to develop any meditation, you should go to a retreat, take a retreat, 3 days, 5 days, or even 1 day, if you can. On your day off, go find some place where you can meditate, keep the 8 precepts, and do nothing except meditation, walking, sitting meditation, or listening to Dhamma talk, or reading Dhamma books. Okay? We'll go to Pierre. Hi, Pierre. How are you? Where are you from?
นมัสการพระอาจารย์ค่ะ I'm Thai from
Okay. You have to speak English.
Yes, I can speak English and I can listen, and I don't have any question today.
Okay. You just want to listen.
Yes, and I find out that if I showed up just not listening, and I feel like I am a part of the community, and in my practice it's better. But if I just stay behind and just listen, and I'm alone at home, I don't have a car to meet any monks that I used to, and my practice it's worse. My samadhi, I cannot maintain my viriya. I cannot maintain my routine. So
okay. So you need some inspiration. So you need to okay.
Yes.
One way to get inspiration is to listening to Dhamma talk or read Dhamma books. But nowadays you don't have to meet the monk in person anymore because everything is online. You can go online and search for the teachers you want to study from. Okay. All right. If you don't have any question, I'll go to the next person. Okay. Okay, we'll go to John. Hi, John. May I ask you where you're from? You have to unmute the microphone.
สวัสดีครับ I'm from Sydney, Australia.
I see. Have you been in here before?
No, I've listened to you for over a year now. I really enjoy your Dhamma talks on YouTube. Thank you very much. Satu, satu, satu. I hope to come and see you one day and spend some time doing a 10-day or more retreat. A question that the previous person discussed in relation to feelings. I am somewhat sensitive to feelings and other people's feelings. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I watch you in the morning going and doing the bintabat, I get very emotional, and I do observe or investigate where the emotion's coming from, and I think of all the metta that all the people give of their loving hearts to come and donate their food to you, and it makes me very emotional. On the other hand, it also affects me when I'm dealing with people. I feel frustrations, so it's a sensitivity of both the metta and the anger of both myself and other people. How do I limit the effect of that sensitivity?
It means your mind lacks a lot of equanimity. So what you have to do is build up equanimity by developing mindfulness and meditate. Because when you can meditate and calm your mind, then your mind will start to have equanimity. But if you cannot meditate, at least you can use mindfulness to keep it from reacting to things you see or hear. So you can start by, if you like, using a mantra, Bhutto, during your daily activity. Whatever you do, whatever you see or hear, if you don't want to let your mind react emotionally, then you use Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto to stop it from reacting. But you have to practice Bhutto first, because when the time comes to use it, you might not be able to use it if you haven't practiced it yet. So, when you're alone, like in the morning when you get up, why don't you practice Bhutto as you move on in your daily with your daily activity, like taking a shower, washing your face, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, eating. All this time you don't need to think. So why don't you use Bhutto to stop your mind from thinking? Because thinking will then instigate your reaction. If you stop thinking, then there will be no reaction.
Thank you.
So what you should do, or everybody should do, is develop mindfulness. Because mindfulness will eventually lead your mind to have equanimity, to remain not reactive to things you see or hear or feel. You just can become merely knowing. Okay.
Sadhu.
Any more questions?
I have another question, but this is a difficult one, and I've been told, and I've listened to the scriptures or the suttas, that it's very bad karma to create any disturbance between monks. But I did spend seven days as a monk, or 14 days as a monk in Thailand, and out of that experience, the basically, to cut a long story short, the head monk told me to go see his sister, which then put a curse on me, which effectively I've been fighting for the last 5 years, and it's affected my life and my partner's life. My desire is to do something about it, but I've been told that you shouldn't do anything about it because if you disturb the monkhood, then you're creating even more karma. From a Buddhist perspective, is that correct? Because I would have thought that if there's a bad monk, bad monks should be exposed. But I don't know. There's a question I'm trying to overcome. I'm trying to let go of my attachment to trying to do what I think is right, or to winning, or to getting payback. But
yes,
on the other hand,
in Buddhism, doing the right thing is not to do anything.
Okay.
Just to let things be, and let karma takes its effect eventually. Whatever a person does, he will reap his own karma sooner or later. Because as soon as if you interfere, then you're creating new karma on yourself, and then this new karma will come back, hit at you later on. Because then you're creating enemies, and you're trying to get rid of this person, and then this person will get angry at you and get mad at you, and then he might want to get back at you later on also. So it's better just to leave things alone. Things will be taken care of eventually, sooner or later. Just be patient.
Okay.
The problem is we're not patient enough. You want to see things done like instantly. Just push the button and then you get the result right away. But that's not how the law of karma works. The law of karma takes time. So let the law of karma handle everything. This way you then can be spared from the effect of your own karma. See? Because you're not doing any karma that way. So you have to think of yourself also. When you're trying to fix something, you might be creating problem for yourself without knowing it. So the best thing is just to leave things alone. Anicca dukkha anatta. Everybody got their own karma, and they are the beneficiary of their own karma. Sooner or later, they will have to reap the fruit of their good or bad karma. Okay.
Thank you, Lompo. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, I think we have another person we haven't talked to yet. Angel in Singapore. Do you have anything to say, Angel? Nothing. Okay. Well, then this time will be free time for anybody to say anything. Just raise your hand. La, you have a question? Okay.
Yes, I have 2 questions from Facebook, Ajahn.
Go ahead.
The first question from Mr. Go. Dear Ajahn, I'm from Malaysia. I wish to know what the Buddha taught on how to overcome fear of death.
Fear of death.
Yes.
Well, there are 2 methods of dealing with the fear of death. When you have fear of death, you can use a mantra or chanting to stop the fear. By doing the chanting of the triple gem, Itipiso, Bhagava. Keep chanting, and then eventually you forget the thing that makes you afraid. Then the fear will disappear. But this is a temporary measure, because when you later on, if you run into something, you might become afraid again. If you want to use a permanent measure, then you have to study the nature of your body and see whether your body is permanent or not permanent. Then you will see that your body is not permanent. Your body will eventually has to die, whether you like it or not. That's the truth of the body. So you have to teach your mind to accept this truth. If you can accept the truth of the body that it's gonna die, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, it's gonna happen. And if you can accept this truth, then your fear of death will disappear, because your mind will then accept and let go of the attachment to the body. So this is a permanent method. Once you no longer attach to the body, once you accept the death of the body, then you will not be afraid for the rest of your life. Okay, second question.
And the second question from Mr. Keen, and this is quite long question. I have a question regarding calmness during meditation. 2 weeks ago, my mind happened to reach a calm state when I recite Putto. At that moment, only Putto was remain and happiness also arise. The mind was so satisfied and the sati was so strong. This phenomenon happened to last for a week, but I could feel that the calmness slowly fade away on day number 4 and on day number 8. The happiness and calmness and even the sati also seem like disappear. Now, during meditation, the mind is hard to focus in reciting Putto. I feel so disappointed. But in another way, I see this is as anicca, as all things are impermanent, including our mind. So I just continue back to Putto chanting and ignore the disappointment feeling I'm facing now. So is that correct way to do, Ajahn?
Yes, in order to make your mind become calm again, you have to develop mindfulness, either chanting or reciting the Bhutto to stop your mind from thinking. Then eventually your mind will become calm like before again. All right. Who wants to ask a question? Please raise your hand.
Philip.
Okay, Philip. Yes, go ahead.
Ajahn, this is with regards to I think Sister Belinda's question early on with regards to sleepiness or this. I think many years ago when I started meditation, I'm not too sure whether it's correct to do it, but when I started practice meditation, I felt quite sleepy. So what I did was I sat beside the edge of the bed, the edge of the bed, and put pillows there. And very quickly, if you sit by the side of the edge of the bed, you will be very, very mindful not to fall off. That was what I did, to prevent me from falling asleep or drowsing off. That was something I did. I don't do it anymore, but it was only in the initial stage.
Okay.
So it may help her in that way.
I don't know. If it works for you, I guess it's okay. But each one might have to find different methods that's suitable for themselves.
Yes, correct.
Okay, is that all the question you want?
Oh yes. With regards to, like just now the gentleman talking about curse and things like that. In Malaysia, we have the privilege of having to see many types of Theravada Buddhism, how the Thai practice, how the Burmese practice, how the Sri Lankan practice. Each of them have their own little, I would say, traditions that they practice. What I want to ask is, how do you determine which is considered as tradition and which is considered as the Buddha's practice?
Well, you have to study the teaching of the Buddha.
Okay.
And if you study long enough, you find that the Buddha teaches only the law of karma,
right,
and nothing else. So anything else is not the Buddha's teaching. Like cursing, you cannot curse somebody. You cannot curse them and make them become an animal or something like that. They have to curse themselves. They have to make themselves animals by their own bad karma, by their own bad action. Then they can become animals.
And what about the practice in Thailand, where devotees or monks they receive tattoos on their of things on their body. Is that?
This is not Buddhism either.
Okay.
Buddhism deal with the Noble Eightfold Path. Just
Right.
study the Noble Eightfold Path. That's all you have to know what Buddhism is about. Everything else just come from beliefs. Some from under some religion, some other religion also. So there's a lot of mixture of different religion, different beliefs in Buddhism, even in Thailand, in Thai Buddhism. But if you study the scripture, the Tripitaka, you'll find that you'll find the differences between the true teaching of the Buddha and the other teaching that might be mixed in with Buddhism.
Okay, like for example, when we offer fruits to the Sangha, there is the seed there's a seed inside there, and I noticed some in some traditions they just allow his kapiya bante, and then they'll just use it a fork to poke the seed. Okay, but there are some places that I've gone, they want you to rip the seed and break it. So which is actually the proper way of doing it? Because
you have to go back to the original, how this practice started. It was during the Buddha's time, when people still believe that vegetables and trees are like human beings. So you're not supposed to kill it by eating the seed or breaking up the branch or pulling off the leaves, for instance. So if somebody offer monks fruits, they first have to kill the fruit first. See, so the way to do it is like for the Kammatthana tradition, you just break up one piece. Maybe you peel off an orange to indicate that you have destroyed this orange. So no longer, then the monk can eat this orange and not killing the orange, because the orange is already been killed by the lay person. The lay people do the killing for the monks. That's the purpose.
So these are all still traditions. These are all still traditions carried from the past, right?
Yeah, from the time of the Buddha, this is part of the monastic code. Monk cannot consume things that are still alive. So vegetable that can still grow is considered alive. Some vegetable still have roots. So you have to cut off the root first before you give to the monks to indicate that this vegetable is dead. It's not alive anymore.
Right. So because that portion of the practice is a bit confusing, because, for example, a fruit seed, right, and compared to a grain, which is also theoretical in seed, when do you break it? I mean,
it becomes a ritual now. We all know that it's not alive or anything like that.
Okay.
So we should worry about it. Just different temples, different traditions have different interpretation of this rule. That's all. Just understand the reason behind it. That's all you have to know.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
In central Thailand, they have to peel the fruit and then get all the seed out, and then present the fruit without the seed for the monks. So a different interpretation from even in Thailand, we have different parts of the country doing different ways. But it's really not that significant, because we know that the fruit, there's no life, there's no beings in the fruit or in the vegetable. So you're not actually killing anybody or anything. Okay. We have Dean just came in. Dean, you want to say something? Unmute your microphone. Okay.
Ajahn, I do have a question, but I don't think I can ask the question clearly. So it's to do with Chitta. I'm looking at it this few days and seems to be focusing on this contemplation about citta. As I say, I don't know how to put it into question, so I'm afraid I can't ask the question properly. So maybe I'll just continue to investigate, and if I'm able to, I'll ask you the next time. So thank you, Ajahn.
All right, okay. When you talk about the citta in the four foundation of mindfulness, you're actually talking about the conditions of the citta, the emotion that changing. Sometimes the citta is happy, sometimes it is sad, sometimes it's elated, sometimes it's depressed, sometimes it's restless, sometimes it's calm. These are considered to be the citta, the changing nature of the citta.
The one of the audio talks I listened to is from Ajahn Panya, that he talks about citta, and I went very deep into contemplating on that in my meditation. And Ajahn Panya in that talk expanded on what it points to. Citta is, according to what I decipher so far, there is the more surface level citta, and there is a deeper part that is pointing towards something that's permanent. So this is where I could not verbalize anymore, and I'm just remaining there to contemplate further. So I think there is something there for me to work on, and I don't want to be too conceptual or anything, but I'm just sitting with this. So I'm a bit in this state. If you can speak a bit more about that knowing within the citta, if you can and help me understand. I understand on the surface citta expressed through the thinking mind, but there is the citta that is deeper. There is from the knowing part.
Well, seeing the citta of the mind, if you target it as a whole, it is the knowing element. Okay. And within this knowing element, you have various states of emotion, feeling, thoughts, and so forth in the knowing element.
Yeah.
So what we want to get to is to get to the knowing element, where it just merely know. And right now, the knowing element is being led by delusion to react to things, to react to the changing states of the mind, the emotions. And then by reacting, it's creating desire or craving, which creating dukkha for the mind. So the goal is to get to the knowing mind, the knowing element, and keep it in equanimity.
Yeah.
And to do this, you need to practice jhana. You bring the mind to the fourth jhana, then the knowing will have equanimity.
Yeah.
So just merely know and not reacting to the emotions or anything, even from the body, feeling and things that come through the body, such as the sensual objects. So this is the practice. The goal is to eventually make the knowing element just being knowing, not reacting to anything.
Yes. This part, it's have been experienced, and through the years there are doubts, many doubts, and I would say a more conducive place like a monastery, as you say, or during this time when I'm on my own in my house with no one for weeks, it's more conducive. But I would say for myself, the experience is not easy because most of the times there's a lot of doubts. So the practice is easier said than actually doing it. So I will continue to do what I can. I hope.
I recommend that you, if you haven't yet developed any samadhi, you should stop contemplating. Because when you're contemplating without samadhi, you're running around in circles.
Yes, yes.
You don't know. So you first should stop your mind.
Yes.
Make it peaceful, calm, and happy. Then you know your base of your mind. Your base is to become still. And then your contemplation goal is to contemplate to make your mind still. See?
Yes.
Not to contemplate and make your mind keep contemplating endlessly.
I know.
Without any end point. The end point of contemplation is to bring your mind back into calm, to equanimity.
I understand.
But if you haven't got equanimity, then you don't know what equanimity is. So you first need to develop equanimity by developing samadhi, mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness, then you can meditate and then get your mind to jhana.
Yes.
Right. Once you get the jhana, then you know this is where you want the mind to remain in equanimity, in calm, and not reacting. Then you use this the basis of your practice of contemplation. You contemplate to bring your mind back to this equanimity. Normally, when you don't contemplate, your mind will be driven by your defilement to go after things, to react to things, and then it's causing dukkha for the mind.
Ajahn, all these parts, the thing is when I'm on my own, right now I would tell you that I'm thinking, I know the words that you've just described, the different components support each other. The thing is I'm on my own and I'm not sure if what I know is right. I can only check my own practice. That's where my doubt is. So I hope I can go to the monastery and get some direct guidance, because I have doubts. I mean, what the words you say, like samadhi, investigation, equanimity, all these support each other. So I think I have tasted it, but I might be wrong. So I hear you clearly and I understand the words you say. I hope I'm practicing it correctly. I don't know how to check myself, but I'm thankful and grateful that I have Dhamma in me to guide me. But on my own, I will always have a doubt, because how can I check if I'm doing it right? Ajahn. So I'm very thankful that I can ask you this and point this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just watch your mind. See whether it's calm or not calm.
Yeah.
If it's not calm, then it means you are driven by your defilement.
Yes.
So you want to calm it down by using Dhamma.
Yes.
Mindfulness, using samadhi, or using wisdom.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Anybody wants to?
Belinda.
Okay.
Belinda.
Ajahn, Ajahn, just now you asked me how am I. This morning I woke up with a sore point on the hip. The journey of meditation has always been issues on the legs, like prolonged numbness. So they are obstacles from the kaya. So today I went to see an acupressure therapist to ease the hip pain, because the hip pain is causing difficulty now to even do walking. In the past, the problem is more on crossing legs. So I tend to move the body so so the blood get to flow. So the question is, after seeing the therapist, she concluded that it could be psychosomatic, meaning is there's no pain. It's just the pain coming from the mind. So I appreciate Ajahn will be able to comment on pain that coming from the mind. Because at this present, I still can't quite walk properly. It's still painful. So could Ajahn comment on like pain in the body, but it's coming from the mind. It's called like psychosomatic.
Maybe because you want to make it well, and when you want to, the more you want to make it well, it might then causing it to get worse that way. So your mind should try to become neutral. Just leave the body alone and let it heal by itself. By not stressing your mind. And when you have stress, then the stress can then affect the healing process of the body also. So try to calm your mind by meditation. And leave the body to the medicine, to the doctor, or to the natural healing of the body itself. There's nothing you can do. By worrying, by wanting to get it well, you can create stress in your mind, and then this stress then can affect the body.
One more question, Ajahn. The mind now is weak, and the posture for meditation, there is intention to stay straight, but it feels like a lot of force, and then the mind there's tension and the body as well. So there's tendency to lie down so that there's a support on the back that helps to relax. But as a result, sometimes it can go drowsy.
That's right. So sometimes you might just have to accept your situation, that you're not primed for meditation practice. So you can only do so much under the present situation, and don't try to force the situation, because there's nothing you can do. You might use contemplation to benefit your practice by studying the nature of your body, that your body is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. And this is what is happening right now. And maybe somehow you might be able to teach your mind to accept this sickness and not trying to get rid of it. You know? And in this way, you can calm your mind, make your mind happy, even if you're sick, because you can accept sickness as part of your life. Understand what I say? Belinda?
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? We have been talking for about 1 hour and 43 minutes now. So I'll give you a chance to answer a few more questions if you have any questions. And after that, okay, John, go ahead. Please unmute your microphone.
But in relation to the mindfulness of breathing, there's a lot of debate in relation to the point of the breath. Originally, I was doing the Vipassana style at the point of the nose, but lately I've been just observing the breath or the air going in and out of the body, which I tend to feel just the air all over the body. Do you need to just pinpoint at the tip of the breath, or
because
is it?
Because that's where the breath is most obvious. That's why the breath comes in and goes out at the tip of the nose. The point is you want to use the breath as an anchor to prevent your mind from thinking about other things as well. So you want to keep it busy by watching the breath. But if you can watch it at other part, it's also possible. Like in some other tradition, they use watching the abdomen. When the breath goes into the body, the abdomen rises. And when the breath leaves the body, then the abdomen falling. So they say rising and falling by watching the abdomen falling and rising. You can use that also as a point of focus.
Okay. So it's better to just have one point instead of just considering the whole body.
Right, just one point, because you want to keep the mind from working. You want to keep the mind from wandering. You want to keep it fixed so it can become still. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Mapo.
Anybody else? Okay, Hadika. Can you unmute the microphone? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I have a question about scanning the body. So, like focusing on the breath, at the nose, or rising and falling on the stomach, one or the other, but also like scanning the body, for like from feet, up and then doing it. Is that?
I don't think it sounds right, because what is the purpose of scanning the body? You have to first know what's the purpose of scanning the body.
Oh yeah, to bring, I don't know, maybe to relax the body, maybe to relax the body, or to bring attention to the whole body, maybe.
See, when you meditate, the goal is to calm your mind, to make your mind still. So in order for the mind to become still, it needs to stop thinking. And in order to stop thinking, it has to focus on something, like the breath. If you want to visualize, you can maybe visualize something in your mind, like any parts of your body. Some people use the skeleton as the object of visualization. And then this forces the mind to pay attention on just visualizing the skeleton. And you cannot go think about other things. Some people use to recite the 32 parts of the body to prevent the mind from thinking also. You can do that also. In the four foundation of mindfulness, the Buddha prescribed the 32 parts of the body. Hair of the head, hair of the body, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, bones, and so forth. You can recite the names of these 32 parts to keep the mind busy, to prevent it from thinking about other things. And when you can prevent your mind from thinking and you feel calm enough, then you might want to just focus on one particular part, the skeleton or whatever parts of the body you feel you prefer to watch. You can come back and watch your breath. And then eventually your mind will then become still that way. Okay.
Okay, I mainly, I've been doing the rising and falling, but then since listening to you, for a couple of weeks, I thought I'll attempt the breath, at the tip of the nose, because I used to find it difficult to sense, because it's so sensitive, to sense the inhaling, like breathing in and out, like noticing, the breath. So I learnt with rising and falling of the stomach. But then someone mentioned this, the scanning, so I just thought I'll ask about that. I haven't really attempted that, but I just want to see if it's any point in doing that.
Yes, I heard
That
some tradition teaches the scanning of the feeling throughout the body. Maybe this is to keep the to keep the mind busy from thinking about the thing. Also, to stop your mind from thinking about work, about money, about anything. If you have to use the mind to do something, but eventually you're gonna have to come to one object to make it become still and calm. First, you want to stop the distraction by pulling the mind away from the distraction, by forcing it to do something, like scanning the body, reciting the 32 parts, do some chanting. This is the same method to calm your thought down to a point where you can then focus on your breath or on any object, like a mantra. Like I say, you can use the skeleton. You can visualize the skeleton and use it as a point of focus, object of focus.
Yeah. I think what I've just realized now is that, like I've been doing rising, falling, but when we're actually doing rising and falling, we're actually thinking, because we're saying rising, falling, rising, falling. So we're noticing, but we're also saying it. But when so it's two things. Whereas when we're just noticing the breath at the nose, we're not thinking.
That's right.
We're literally just noticing.
Right.
So that's good.
But sometimes you cannot do that yet. So you need to do the reciting first, because your mind still active. Your mind still keeps thinking about something. So you want to bring it to think about rising and falling. But as soon as you find that you no longer need to recite the rising and falling, then you just keep watching.
Thank you.
Okay. Eventually, you want to stop thinking and just watch the breath. But with the mantra, you can, with the mantra Putto, you can keep reciting the mantra. And then if the mind wants to become calm, it will become calm suddenly, like falling from a high place also.
Yeah.
This is another method. You are thinking, but you're only thinking of one word, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. From what I heard from the people who use Bhutto, when the mind becomes calm, it will become calm suddenly, like falling from a high place, and then it becomes calm also that way.
Okay.
All right.
That's great. Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, screen check. Unmute the microphone.
Sorry, Ajahn. Sorry, admin. I just want to help out. Chin Li Ching. I saw him or her raise the hand a few times. I think you didn't see.
Chin Li Ching. Okay, nobody sees him. Okay, Chin Li Ching, you want to say something?
Yes, Ajahn. I noticed at night. Thank you. I noticed at night I scratch my fingers, and at times it's actually quite bad. Before sleep, I know there's anxiety or maybe some thoughts, but I sort of can't pinpoint what is it, So do I direct the mind? I mean, I think it's a bit difficult to do that in sleep. Or do I check my state of mind before I go to sleep?
When you sleep, you don't have the control over your mind.
Yeah, that's why.
You have to accept maybe this part of the thing that the mind develops. It becomes a habit, the habit of the mind.
Yeah,
but if it doesn't hurt anything, then just don't worry about it. Let it be.
But my skin, sometimes I do it daytime, but it's, but I mean, I can stop that daytime, but nighttime is a bit difficult. So do I like check my mind, like how am I feeling now? Okay, before I go to sleep, or something like that, so that I sort of can clear the anxiety or the aversion or the the emotion or something. I know it's a bit of anxiety.
Once you fall asleep, there's nothing you can do about it. The mind will then become sort of a free rein, on a free rein, no leash. It can do anything it wants.
But how about before I go to sleep?
You can be mindful by watching your breath or reciting a mantra as you go to sleep. But once you go to sleep, then there's no mindfulness to control the mind anymore. Then it's the karma that will take over, the good and the bad karma.
Oh. Okay. So
you just have to let it be. Just have to let it be.
Or do I check my state of mind? I mean, maybe I'm anxious. So I clear. I look at the anxiety or something like that before I go to sleep, or aversion or something.
I don't know. If you do that, you might not go to sleep at all, and you keep watching. Then you have another problem.
No. When it's time's up, it's time's up.
So don't worry about it. When you go to sleep, sometimes you snore, sometimes you move around in your sleep. It's just something that you cannot control anymore. You just have to accept it.
My fingers got a lot of plasters. After I get up, I get the plaster on my fingers.
Next time, put on some gloves if you want to protect your fingers.
That's how I did it once or twice. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I think I have to go now. Okay. It's almost 2. One more. Some question from Lan. Okay.
Yes. Have one question from Facebook from Miss Phoebe. A group, yes, Phoebe. A group of my co-workers want to show appreciation to someone by buying a gift with money from everyone. The gift is alcohol. Is it right to give money to buy alcohol for someone?
No, because alcohol is harmful to the one who consumes. So it's like buying poison to give to people to consume. So if you want to give something, you should give something that is beneficial to the body and to the mind. Okay. Thank you very much for your attendance. Very happy to see you all. I hope you are happy and keep up with the meditation practice.
Sadhu.